Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your HUT lineup decision. So, Team of the Year is upon us. So, again, a lot of these questions are going to pertain to Team of the Year. I went through and selected a lot of the most popular ones, the ones I see come up quite a bit. The only thing I ask, guys, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please, it would go a long way to help me out here. I'm almost at 70,000, so I do appreciate it. But let's get into today's questions and comments, see how many I can get through. First one up says, if you're HUT rich, I would personally make McDavid and McKinnon and then go for both defensemen coming out. My thought process is having two D-man with zero cost abilities makes up for 1/3 of your defense, making your D-core pretty solid for the rest of the year. I like the thought process there, 100%. Like, in a perfect world, if you could make four, I would probably go with McDavid, McKinnon, and then the two defensemen. That probably is a good way. I think that where the context comes in is if you already have like Parayko or Ekholm. I think that definitely comes into it a little bit, kind of throws a wrench in the works because it was already like 99, or Ekholm will be at some point. And, even though they don't have free abilities, you still have 10 ability points, and we have to assume that's probably going to keep going up. So I don't hate that process, though. I would agree. Windsor Spitfires. Oh, my God, I should have banned you. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, Slaves, I have Ultimate Team of the Year McDavid and McKinnon. My question is, do I make Kucherov if I can muster the resources, or should I just build Kucherov's X Factor? I have a boatload of 75-plus cards because I wanted to make McDavid's X Factor. Ultimately, went with this Team of the Year card. Thanks. When it comes to Kucherov, guys, I think he's a third. Like, I think he's a distant third. A distant third behind McKinnon and McDavid for sure. But I still think from the community like that I've talked to and the people that I trust when it comes to their opinions, Heisey looks like she's legit a more effective option. Not that Kucherov's a bad card. And I just think, again, Kucherov is never going to play above McDavid. And assuming you have McDavid on the wing, that means he's a second-line player. And I think that's where you have to think about your team context. If you don't have any fantasy defensemen and a defenseman comes out, those defensemen are going to play line one, right? They're going to be more impactful than Kucherov, so I'd probably wait and go that route. The X Factor Kucherov is not as good as the Team of the Year version, but you're guaranteed to at least get an upgrade or at least upgrade with it. And the upgrade cost is very cheap. Hey, Slaves, love the content and the energy you bring. No lineup questions today. Just want to appreciate the overnight success of Kotkaniemi's fantasy card. Buddy was 88 until this week, and now he's a 92 with almost 99 shooting. The card feels fantastic now. If anyone can buy it, I recommend it. Yeah, you're never going to be able to find him now. It's crazy because I talk about the fantasy event every year. It's been my favorite event since NHL 20, and 20 or 21. All the games blend together now, but it's been my favorite event. It just, it has no control over it, and it brings in the real life, interest into the game, and especially with defensemen, like Damon Severson scores 2 goals, and now he's a +4, and it's like, oh my God, and especially with how slow progression is this year, like we're at 90 overalls. So Team of the Year is 90 overall. When Team of the Year is done, I would hazard a guess that means in February, the next event, 90 overalls. So, even the lower performing fantasy cards like Palmieri, like he's only a couple goals off of being right in line with the rest of the card base. So, lineup question: who do I make? I'm a huge Canucks fan, and I refuse to dress an Oiler. I can make 2 Team of the Year. I made Kucherov. My first 2 forward lines are Canucks, so Team of the Year at best to make my third line. Defense Team of the Year would be my top line. Do I make McKinnon? Oh. In your situation, no. In your situation, no, I wouldn't. And I respect what you're doing. Love that. But no, I wouldn't. I do want to say McKinnon is very, very good. Sleeves, oh my goodness. Sleeves, I called you a scumbag for sticking up for this game. I want to apologize at least. You're not like the other content creators showing all the money you spend on packs. I just wish you would investigate more before giving an opinion you hold the high. Grammar, not. I'm trying my best here. Giving an opinion, comma. You hold the highest voice in the community. Ice tilt is definitely a thing in lower divisions. Look at a team of the year cards. I'll give you an example. If I play a guy with 82 overall and my whole line is stacked with team of the year cards, my guys get tired in 10 seconds. And anything they shoot goes in. It's not just once or twice, it's constant. I might not be here for next year's release with my condition and how sick I am. And I never got to play hockey. First of all, I'm sorry to hear that, my man. I'm sorry for saying something nasty to you. I just want you to fight for a good hockey game, and you have the biggest voice and the only NHL content creator that actually seems to care. Good luck to you, buddy. I'm from Buffalo, and I now live in Texas. I hope your Sharks win a cup soon. Celebrating going to be the GOAT. First of all, my man, I hope that I hope that your health improves. And secondly, all the content creators, guys, in the background, I'm friends with almost all of them. The ones that that are kind of at the forefront. We all want the game to be better. And if you don't believe that, selfishly, just remember this. If the game is better, we do better, right? So at the end of the day, if you see a video where you don't agree with the creator's opinions or things like that, know in the background that all the creators are fighting for, better and improved game. My whole thing on Ice Tilt is that you can't prove it. And I know that a lot of people say, well, then why are lower overall cards, performing just as good as my cards? Like I said, there's a lot that goes into it, the stamina, all that stuff. And, I'm not going to get into Ice Tilt again, but it's tough. Like I said, you'll never be able to prove it. And hockey's just it has a lot of luck involved, and I don't know how you code that. Again, though, I hope you get better, man. Hey, Sleeves, longtime fan. I wanted your thoughts on what I should do. I made McKinnon and McDavid, and I can only make one more. Should I make Heisey or wait for a defensive team of the year? I have Parayko, Ekholm, and Axel Sandin Polika. Oh, God, you guys have, the hardest questions. I made McKinnon and McDavid. I can only make one more. God, there's a strong chance that whatever defensemen come out are going to play on your second line. But Heisey would too. I would wait for a defenseman. Yo, Sleeves, I was wondering on what to do. Should I keep base team of the year McDavid or try to get his ultimate? I already have ultimate MacDog. Or should I wait and use my 87s for a defenseman or a goalie? My goalie right now is 86 Markstrom. Guys, whoever wins goalie team of the year, that is for the ultimate Hut Rich or the fan of whoever wins, right? The goalie team of the year cards are just so expensive because they're the same price. They can't make a goalie less expensive, even though it's a less important position in Hockey Ultimate Team. So it's only for the Hut Rich. I would try. If you can make Team of the Year 90, the ultimate Team of the Year McDavid, I would do that. If you can. If you can't, then wait for whoever wins on defense. I just want to say I appreciate the help on getting my 87s question. Currently one away now from Ultimate McDavid, and we'll be starting to grind out squad battles and the rest of moments, possibly thinking about getting base Mac as well. Yeah, for sure. You want to make sure, those would be the two I would try and get before the end of the event. Hey, Sleeves. I'm trying to find a way to make a Team of the Year defenseman next week after burning nearly my entire collection this week. Wondering if you should trade Star of the Month McKinnon and it Frozen Forces Kucherov in towards a Team of the Year defenseman, or would you save them since they're 89s? This is the event, and unfortunately with how it's been designed, not every overall has a value, right? You can't trade in 86 overalls for an 86 reward. It's 85. The Team of the Year event, you have to do the math first. Don't trade these guys in unless you 100% know that you're going to be able to finish the job, okay? That's what I would recommend, all right? Just hold it until the very end, do the math, see what you can do. If you can make a Team of the Year defenseman or player, I'm burning my entire collection. Everything that you can should go into the Team of the Year cards. We don't know when we're getting another free AP event. I would guess it's quite some time, maybe not even until Team of the Season. So These Team of the Year cards are just always the most valuable. Hey, Sleeves, I agree with the critics of the event, but also don't have a better solution, at least not yet. One positive, however, is that I can freely trade in cards without worrying about value. I mean, technically, yeah, but that's part of the issue. I made McDavid, and I'm hopefully going to make a defenseman next week. However, I don't get to make one. However, if I don't get to make one, at least I have 87s that I can use in the future, as opposed to collectibles for packs that may stink. That's a good point. Still don't love the structure, but that is one positive I haven't seen others point out. Thanks for all you do. I think that while that's a positive when you think about it, but there's an alternative where every overall is used for X amount of collectibles, right? And then, you know, there should be a pack or packs that are also used for collectibles, but in a much smaller way. Like, for example, one Team of the Year collectible might be worth a premium pack or whatever. And that way, even when the event ends, or if you're not going to invest in the event to get players, you can at least get something. I think that's the best way to do it. I've only been playing Hut for a month now, and even I can see the blatant rug pull for the X Factor owners. After having played my team for over a decade, I'm all too familiar with content teams that make content for a mode they don't even play, and the mode frustrations that come with it. That being said, I've only been playing Hut for a month and was able to get Ultimate McDavid and McKinnon, so the event has been rewarding for me. Hopefully some others as well. Keep killing it, Sleeves. Yeah, like that's the biggest issue. Like the content team, what I find frustrating is they are the one team that can fix things immediately. They can make improvements or changes immediately without patches, for the most part. They can't fix autofill and stuff like that. That's not what I'm talking about. But like, they can make it as rewarding or as fun in terms of what you're chasing as possible. And I just find that like their vision is, it doesn't line up with the majority of the player base. You're never going to please everyone. And I'm sure there's lots of people that think that this is the best year of Hut, just because like, everyone has different opinions, right? I just think that like when you have people in charge that are not flexible with their decisions and they don't take in other people's opinions that they should, I guess. Like, again, I think the one thing to remember, or at least for me, is that I don't want their job and I don't claim that I could do their job better. I'm simply stating that if they are going to make drastic changes to every event, if they float it to people that, it doesn't have to be me, it could be anyone. And you have anyone that's a hardcore player be like, hey, that could cause an issue, here's why. I don't want to be in charge of HUD content because I don't know if I would be able to do it well. I truthfully don't. Some of the ideas they come up with, I would have never thought of. But what I can do is, here are the ideas that you're going to make. What do you think? I would give my opinion. I wouldn't say you need to do this. I would just say, hey, this is going to be a friction point for the community. Like the X Factor McDavid, I could have told you, just immediately what was going to be the response, and that was the response, right? So, hey, Sleeves, I made Team of the Year McDavid, and I have untradeable Kucherov. Should I trade in my X Factor Team of the Year Kucherov and have enough 87s left to make a base defenseman next week? Or should I make Team of the Year McKinnon? I would make Team of the Year McKinnon. Again, if you have Kucherov's X Factor, guys, it's not like you just don't have a Kucherov card. You can upgrade Kucherov's X Factor card. It's still going to be a very good card. I have as a card B and D, and his 90 overall has been fun. It's been good. It's just it's a much bigger advantage to have McKinnon and the 90 overall Kucherov X Factor, right? Hey, Sleeves, I love the content, man. Thank you for everything. Not sure I've seen many comments asking about Team of the Year goalies that may be coming out. Whether it's Hellebuck or whoever, even any of the PWHL goalies, are they worth making? Is it only worth making the goalie if they're 6 foot or taller? Are there options that are almost as good but way cheaper and then will get the job done? Wondering this because I need a goalie pretty bad, and I'm not sure if it's worth going for a Team of the Year goalie or spending more for 2 Team of the Year defensemen and a cheaper goalie. Always a cheaper goalie. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm actually happy that I've leaned into like the theme team aspect as much as I can, because I play somewhat competitively and I don't like losing and I don't like hindering my team to the point where it maybe has me like losing games. And that's a lot because I stream and like there's added pressure and that like if I lose, I mean, I know that when I match up with someone, even if I'm not streaming, I'm getting that 9 times out of 10, I'm getting that person's like best performance. That being said, I've made the decision that like Askarov, who is one of my favorite Sharks goalies of all time already to watch, just his ability has been fantastic. So his MSP just in my lineup. It's just in my lineup. If Askarov gets a better card, I'll go chase it. I did with his Player of the Year, and I actually didn't like the performance of that card, so I went back to his MSP. Team of the Year goaltenders are always the worst value, right? And especially I remember last year because they do not make you a better player. They just simply don't. What they do is give you maybe a little more confidence, right? And I think that when you should change your goalie is when you have no confidence that they'll stop even the easiest shots. When that happens, you need to change your goalie because then you're playing different because of your goalie not stopping anything. But I remember people hated Olmark last year. And then you've got this like million coin card that you really can't justify getting rid of or using someone else of, right? So always worth it to go someone over other the team of the year goalie. X Factor and Icons. They don't get my grand next year. This trickery was too much. Free to play it is. Yeah. Like if I had to guess, we don't even get X Factors or Icons next year, and we don't even get like a chase of any kind. Like it would not surprise me at all if we just have event cards next year and that's it. Given like just from what I'm seeing, like this has nothing to do with like internal. I have no idea. It's not like they talk to us. I have no idea what they plan for, but I can just see that every long-term card that we would chase after the last 5 years, every year it's gotten less and less. Over the last 2 years. We had what 50 X Factors in 23, down to one for every team last year, down to 8 right now, or 13 or whatever it is. And then icons, my God, we had like what 60 last year, and we've got essentially 12 that upgrade all year round. Like I just don't see them having any interest in that. It looks like a change in model, and maybe it'll be good, but I would bet that, you know, Ultimate Team should have an RPG essence to it. You're building the ultimate team. A lot of people like knowing that they're working towards something, and I just feel like the events only thing is just going to be a mess. But who knows? Slaves. I have Team of the Year McKinnon and McDavid. I also have untradeable Kucherov X Factor along with Ekholm and ASP. I have Makar's cover athlete and I hope he gets a trade and set in Team of the Year. I also have enough to make Team of the Year Kucherov. Not sure if I should make another. Do I make Kuch using his X Factor or hold in hope for Makar to play next to Ekholm? I can't answer who's winning, guys. So it's tough to answer questions like that. The thing is again, do the math on that. Like, is Kucherov going to play on your first line? If Makar gets it, is he going to play on the first line? And what if it's not Makar? Would that card play higher or on the first line? Those are things that you're going to have to make a decision for yourself. I think people are forgetting we have until Friday, February 7th to make the defenseman team of the year. So a lot can happen in terms of packs, etc., as well as coins. You don't have to make a decision on defense right away upon dropping next Friday. Might help people make their decisions on forward or defense. Yeah, like if you can't afford, there's no way that you can get a forward team of the year item because you're never going to, like, I know that I probably can't on my free-to-play team. I probably can't get another forward. So what you can do is get everything you can, and then next week you should be able to get a defenseman, at least the base item, right? Ice Slaves, a big question for you. I'm 10 cards away from X Factor McDavid. I refuse to get screwed over and trade him in for Team of the Year. So when I put the captains in for the 2 I'm keeping, do I take the tokens out? I will lose them if I leave them in. Yeah, you have to downgrade it all the way to trade them in. So if you've upgraded them already, you're going to lose tokens. But again, they're so cheap. It's just 80 overalls. It is very cheap to upgrade them, so don't worry too much about that. Get EA to look into Team of the Year cards and stamina is broken on them. I tried turning off wheels on them, and they still drain faster than any card. It's like they have 50 stamina. Dude, I said this in my no money spent video. I am like doing some homework on this because they were amazing when you have the puck and they're like fresh. But my God, I don't know if it's because they keep their speed because of edges and wheels. I'm talking about McKinnon and McDavid specifically. Because they have those 2 abilities, is it because they're at high speed the whole time that they just run out of energy? I'm going to try about 20 games of my efficiency and energy slider all the way down to efficiency. But Yeah, I'll probably message my like the most trusted developer I know and on the gameplay side of things and see if there's an issue on them. Maybe there's not, but maybe it's just a combination of those abilities. I feel the exact same thing. I mentioned in my video. I'm like, dude, I would get two shifts out of my first line, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. And it might be just because they're too fast. Like when they were on the ice, I created a lot of offense, and you could like feel them be faster than almost everyone. But it sucks if they just aren't. Like the stamina issue and line changes in general this year have been an absolute disaster, and I hope we see that get fixed. That's going to do it for this episode of Who Should You Choose? Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys.